So apparently, through the use of LiDAR, they have discovered that there are enormous structures underneath the Great Pyramid that go kilometers deep into the earth with coils.
The team who have been deploying these satellites to scan the Giza Plateau, they believe they've discovered what appear to be 8 massive cylindrical structures.
Google's quantum chip just found something terrifying hidden under the Giza pyramids. An ancient machine buried beneath the sand that's still sending out energy signals. Deep below, there's a maze of secret rooms and twisting tunnels no one knew existed. Experts say these hidden chambers aren't tombs, but part of a giant forgotten power device. Let us uncover who or what is keeping these ancient secrets buried beneath the pyramids. Blueprints in the desert floor. The machine behind this wasn't some office desktop. It was one of the most advanced chips ever made, built by a company known for building the web we use every day. But this time, it wasn't searching the internet. It was tuned into energy coming from under the desert. Not loose waves or background fuzz, but tight, clean patterns. Repeating, intentional. And it matched up with a whole different kind of scan taken from the ground. What it revealed next would rewrite everything we thought we knew about the Earth beneath our feet. That ground scan used radar designed to see deep below the surface. What showed up wasn't a bunch of broken stone, it was a hidden world, a long underground network stretching more than 1 mile beneath the sand. This system ran straight under all 3 of the biggest pyramids at Giza. Inside this buried maze were massive cube rooms, spiral walkways, deep narrow wells, one after another. Some of these dropped nearly 700 yards into the earth. Now picture this, 8 wells, each one twisting downward like a giant screw. At the bottom, square rooms as big as city buildings, rooms that no one alive today has seen. Not carved like a cave, built, engineered, not just by hand but by a plan. Everything aligned perfectly with the pyramids above. These shapes don't match what you'd expect from tombs. No carvings of kings, no stacked jars or statues. These aren't places to rest. They look more like parts of a giant device. Even the way they were dug down, that spiral design, is something engineers use now to handle power and movement. It keeps things flowing evenly. Meanwhile, the chip picked up on energy moving through the same areas the radar scanned. Not random zaps or shaking like what you get from the Earth. These were steady signals, energy flows shaped like something made them. They showed up clearly, like wires humming underground. Some folks who study old stuff rolled their eyes. They said it was just the Earth doing what it always does. Nothing special, but others took a second look. A few researchers said it didn't feel like natural energy at all. It was too sharp, too steady, like something built to do a job. One expert who worked with the chip said these machines could find tiny bits of energy no regular tool could. And what they found in Giza wasn't noise. It was structure, pattern. Not messy like wind or heat, more like something still running, even if no one knew it was there. Radar scans showed more than just shape. They revealed 5 underground levels, each one matched up with the next. Walkways connected them all. Nothing out of place, like a grid buried beneath the sand. Not rough tunnels or natural caves. Everything had straight lines and clean angles, like a hidden map. And then there were the numbers. Some blocks from the original pyramid above weighed more than 80 tons. They were stacked tight, edges so close you couldn't fit a piece of paper between them, lined up nearly perfectly with the directions of the Earth, not off by even a little. For decades, the story went that ancient workers dragged heavy rocks on ramps, pulled them mile after mile. But even with modern machines, we can barely match what those builders did. And here we are, finding deep wells and rooms hidden beneath that same site. That's not a side project. That was the real thing. An engineer who looked at the new scans said it reminded him of a theory from years ago. One that claimed the pyramid was not just a grave, but a kind of power machine. A place that could take energy from the ground and push it upward. Maybe even send it across space without wires. Now with these deep rooms and sharp energy lines, those old ideas don't sound so wild. Some say the pyramid might have been part of a much bigger setup, a full energy system buried under the sand. One that might have powered machines, lights, or even cities. And yet, when teams try to get down there, they get blocked. For decades now, crews have asked to dig deeper, scan more, drill into the wells, but they keep getting turned down. One team found a tunnel in the year 2023. It was there for a minute, then locked up again. A few people say it's about keeping the site safe. That digging could ruin something, but others think there's more to it. Maybe someone already checked it out. Maybe they found something and never told. Online, theories are flying. Some say an ancient group built all this long before the pharaohs, a group we don't know yet. Others take it further, talking about builders not from this world. After all, the energy shapes below match what we use today in machines. In the cube rooms, no sign they were for burials. The measurements match up with stuff we use now. The tunnel spirals look like modern energy tunnels. The chamber sizes match power storage systems. And the energy patterns? They're too clean to be from nature. In the middle of all this is one fact: the chip keeps picking up the same signals, same depth, same strength. No one has turned it off. No one knows where it comes from. And every time someone asks to go deeper, they get stopped. This underground setup could have been part of something way bigger. Not just a building, a network. Maybe it connected to other sites we haven't even looked at yet. Maybe it was one piece in a system that spread far beyond Egypt. None of it fits the old story. And still, the digging doesn't happen. Crews wait, gear is ready, scans keep rolling in. But access stays closed. Some say we're looking at a power plant older than anything we know. Others think it's a system that still runs. Whatever the answer is, the parts are all there. Buried under tons of sand, clean shapes, clear lines, deep wells, energy that doesn't fade. Right when the clues under Egypt hit a wall, a frozen land on the other side of the world starts raising eyebrows. Secrets, 3 miles under ice. Something's weird about Antarctica. People are buzzing about it, like it's the next big secret everyone suddenly wants to know. It's cold, sure, and full of ice. But there's a lot more going on down there than penguins and snow. A guy, no name, no details, went there. Said it was wild. The mountains, not just hills with snow. He said they looked sharp, like pyramids. All 4 sides lined up way too perfectly. Not natural. Way more mountains than you'd expect. Most folks imagine it as a flat, icy sheet because that's what we've been shown on maps. But go look at some old maps, the ones made before satellites. Some of them show coastlines and mountain ranges way too accurate for their time. How would they know that unless they saw it without ice? There's this one map that gets brought up a lot. It's old, drawn long before we had planes or satellites. But it shows Antarctica with no ice, just land and detail that's oddly on point. Makes you wonder, who saw it like that? And when? Now here's the real kicker. All the countries that have land claims there, they made a deal, a real one. No one's allowed to drill, dig, or pull anything valuable out of the ground. Zero mining. Which is odd, right? It's a frozen desert full of untouched land, and nobody wants to dig? Someone told him a scientist there once said the next world war won't happen over oil or money, but over someone breaking that Antarctica deal. That's how big of a deal it is. Some say there's something buried under the ice, like 3 miles deep. Could be anything. Ancient stuff. Maybe even from a time before people were supposed to exist. Way back, scientists found signs that the place used to be a rainforest. Not a snowy wasteland, but green, full of life, trees, animals. That was like 90 million years ago, they say. Not yesterday. Still, the fact that there are plant fossils down there, that means it wasn't always frozen. The question is, was it green when humans were around? Our kind only showed up maybe 6 million years ago. If you stick with what the usual science says, that rainforest was long gone by the time we walked upright. Still, some folks, like that one writer from the 1990s, thought maybe, just maybe, there was a big twist. He thought the whole crust of the Earth, like the shell on an orange, might have moved. Not the inside, just the skin. Like if the ground we walk on shifted all over, dragging continents into new spots. Crazy? Maybe. But if that happened, Antarctica could have been closer to the equator once. Warm, sunny, full of life. And then one shift, and boom, it's a freezer. Most scientists don't buy it. They say Antarctica's been frozen for millions of years, and that theory is not worth the time. Still, other researchers kept poking around. One guy even said a comet hitting Earth at just the right angle could shake things up enough to move the crust. Not likely, but possible. Eventually, that crust idea got tossed aside by the guy who first loved it. He found a new obsession. A time about 12,800 years ago. Something massive happened then, a huge shift. The weather went nuts. Earth had been warming, melting the big ice sheets a bit. Then all of a sudden, deep freeze, like hitting a switch. Temperatures dropped fast, as cold as the worst of the ice age. But here's the weird part. Sea levels rose, fast. That doesn't make sense. If things are freezing, where's the water coming from? Meltwater should be staying frozen. But it didn't. Some think the answer is in the sky. Comets again. Not one, maybe a few. They hit the ice sheets in North America and Europe. Big hits, like slamming hot metal into a frozen pond. It blasts out water, melts tons of ice, floods the oceans, and maybe breaks the warm water current that keeps Earth's climate balanced. Cut that, and the planet freezes. Later, it flips again. After about 1,200 years of freeze, it heats up fast. Super fast. 10 degrees warmer worldwide in just a few hundred years. Glaciers collapse, oceans swell, sea levels rise again. Some say a second comet nailed the ocean itself. The splash sends water vapor high up, traps heat, and boom, greenhouse effect. That time frame from the freeze to the thaw was deadly. Giant animals? Gone. Saber-toothed cats, woolly mammoths, sloths the size of cars, all wiped out. That window between the freeze and the flood? That's the real mystery. There's this giant wall of rock art in South America, over 5 miles long, and it shows all those animals, the extinct ones, dated to that exact 12,800 years ago. Coincidence? Then there's this other place, Turkey. A strange temple, buried for ages. It was built right after the Earth warmed again, right around 11,600 years ago. Same time a Greek story said a city called Atlantis sank into the sea. That number keeps popping up. People bring up Atlantis and the experts roll their eyes. Use that word and it's like hitting a trap door. Everything you've ever done, no matter how careful, gets tossed out. Even if you spent 30 years studying ruins or diving off coastlines. Say that word and they treat you like a joke. Still, that 12,000-year window? It's real. It's wild. Something shook the planet hard. Something messed with the climate, killed off the giants and raised the oceans. Could be comets, could be solar flares. Nobody really agrees. At the end of that ice crash, when things started warming again, the oceans rose like crazy. One burst of water, fast and heavy. That much melt all at once? It had to come from something big. Some say it was the sun. Some say another space rock. If it hit the ocean, the steam would rise up, trap heat, and bake the planet. Sudden cold, then sudden heat. Earth doesn't do that often. Whatever happened, it hit hard and fast. Animals didn't stand a chance. Forests changed. People had to start over. Antarctica? It stayed frozen through it all. Quiet, still, covered in ice. But what if something is under that ice? Something from before the freeze? Something that saw it all happen and got buried, locked away for thousands of years? They don't let anyone dig. They don't let anyone search for old things under the ice. Every country agreed. Nothing gets pulled from the ground. No gold, no metals, no ruins, nothing. 3 miles of ice, locked, silent, guarded by treaties. And just when you think it couldn't get colder, someone says they walked into something down there that shouldn't exist. The green glow beneath the snow, Antarctica, freezing, quiet, and hiding more than penguins. This place is no joke. Almost the whole thing is just one huge ice block. Not just thick, we're talking 3 miles deep in spots. That's enough to bury a mountain the size of Mount Fuji, and no one would even know it was there. Most days down there, cold doesn't cut it. It gets colder than minus 50 degrees. And winds try 200 miles an hour. It's not made for people. Barely 4,000 folks stay there during the busy season. Scientists, sure, but not just them. All tucked away in a place that barely gets a whisper in the news. Maps from hundreds of years ago warn people off with notes like, "Here be monsters." The only place left on Earth where that kind of warning might still be true? Right here, Antarctica. It's out of reach, out of sight, and very much off limits. Even now, after over 200 years of knowing this land exists, scientists are still scratching their heads. That ice is so deep, nobody really sees what's under it. That gives cover for more than just rocks. There are whispers, the kind that say what's buried under all that ice might not even be from Earth. Some people think there's way more going on than just science and snow. They talk about Antarctica like it's hiding something. Huge structures, strange heat signatures, maybe even tech that doesn't match anything we know. Stories have floated around for decades. One stands out. In the middle of 2018, a woman interviewed a man who said he used to be part of a special Navy team. He refused to give his real name, just went by Spartan 1. He talked about a mission in August of 2003. His group flew to the southeast part of Antarctica. The official word? Research. But behind the scenes, they were tracking down someone and grabbing some information. He described a giant shape sticking out of the snow. It had 8 sides and looked way out of place. Only 18 feet showed above the ice. The rest was buried deep. The doors? Thick, between 18 and 30 feet across. But you could push them open with one finger. Inside the place? Total change. Outside, it was 40 below zero. Inside, it felt like a cozy room, around 70 degrees. No heaters, no lights plugged in, just a glow. Lime green light, soft and steady, but no clear source. It came from the walls themselves. He said the inside walls were lined with strange symbols, not like anything he'd ever seen. Not letters, not shapes from any known writing. Just strange, sharp markings carved deep into the walls. People have guessed there might be more under the ice. Whole cities, maybe. Stone halls, strange tools, or even frozen bodies. Things that might have been here long before humans. Antarctica might be the coldest place on Earth, but stories like this keep it burning with questions. What if Antarctica is hiding proof of a forgotten civilization? Smash that like button, drop your theories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.